top team here for 90 minutes, and I think a draw would have been an injustice.
Frank, a little punch with the fist.
Yeah, well, I think that epitomised Chelsea performance, that goal. I mean, I was sort of telling them to stick it in the mixer at the time.
I know.
Across it.
We were all wondering, weren't there? 20 seconds to go, get it in the box.
But the confidence of the way they played it showed you the confidence they showed all night. Their discipline, their teamwork, and with the fantasy stuff up front from the two, they deserved that result.
Yeah. Performance by an English team in the Champions League in recent years, away from home in a country like Spain, where they've been so dominant, as good as that one from Chelsea tonight.
I can't think of one. And it wasn't. I think Eden Hazard was spectacular. I don't think the performance was spectacular. I just thought it was so professional. The discipline in the way they set up. I think credit to the manager for that. Their work rate in closing the ball down against one of the strongest teams who normally close the other team down, and then the quality of their forward play in certain moments. Listen, they didn't score lots of goals. I don't think anybody does there, but to win there and perform as well as they did was a huge statement from Chelsea tonight. Yeah,
we've been lamenting the fact that the Premier League in particular has not really had a team challenging to win the Champions League for quite some time, Stevie. When you started looking at that and the performances of the other English teams in the Champions League this season so far, they've been quite impressive and look very competitive. I know it's early days and the bigger tests ahead.
Well, that's the key. There will be bigger and tougher tests.
But let's go down the line. They don't get much tougher than that.
No, they don't. And to be fair to Chelsea, that's the first time I've seen this Atletico Madrid's defensive unit get torn apart. I've never seen a team, even Real Madrid and Barcelona, I've never seen them two sides who are the best in the world do that to Atletico Madrid team, so it was some performance.
What was good about it was the transition. Once they did win the ball, Chelsea, they managed to find the pockets for people like Hazard to get into and turn and face up against the defenders. And that's been a big plus point for the Atletico Madrid team. Normally they close you down and don't give you that breathing space.
This is the winning goal. And it's so patient as well. I mean, it's just a few seconds to go.
Most teams would have pumped that into the box at that point or gone into the corner, but this Chelsea team, the confidence they're playing with, the belief in each other, and then the movement, the conviction in what they've done, the great finish, and the substitution paid off with Batshuayi.
I think there's a point you want to make, Stevie, as well.
Yeah, just from an Atletico Madrid point of view, the three centre-backs, they went to a back five in the last 10 minutes, and the three centre-halves all get dragged out and attracted to the ball. There's no communication, and then when the ball gets crossed, it's an excellent ball by Alonso. There's no central defenders in that area, so they get punished for it.
Great. And Chelsea go Batshuayi crazy. I mean, there's Costa. He's thinking, I bet he never enjoyed that, because there's obviously a bit of animosity there and a bit of...
Yeah, I think I would have gone inside to have that look on my face. Yeah, I know, but you know, he wears his heart on his sleeve. But listen, this is a group game. There's a lot more to be done. But for Chelsea tonight, fantastic.
No, they did. I suppose the only downside for Chelsea was giving away the penalty in the manner that they did. David Luiz, once again, good player that he is, he occasionally lets himself down.
Of course, and he's had a moment. He's had a mad moment, because his first mistake is letting him run behind him. But his second mistake, he's not even trying to address the problem. He's just grabbed at him and swung round. And I mean, at this level, you're going to expect players to go down. That's what European players do. He's had enough of his shirt that he does go down, and the referee on the spot gives it straight away. And then from dominating the game, all of a sudden you're 1-0 down against a team that are very hard to play against.
Griezmann knocks it down the centre of the goal, and then Chelsea, having dominated most of the first half, going at half-time a goal down, Stevie, but they came back in the second half terrifically well, and it was that combination, wasn't it? Hazard onto Morata.
Yeah, it could have been two. Gary Sowell missed an opportunity just before half-time, but going in at 1-0 down was an injustice. They were playing really well. You don't want Eden Hazard in a 1v1 in a wide area if you're a defender, because he can go either way. He doesn't even have to beat him. He gets half a yard and puts an absolute incredible ball into the danger area, and Morata gets in front of his man, and it's a great finish.
I think what they've done here is they've set down a marker now. I think before the game, Conte mentioned he was looking to see what his team could produce on this level. Now he's had his answer. They're competent. They played against one of the best teams defensively and made them look very average in that. This is now the marker. They've got to live up to this standard on a regular basis, and that'll be the test.
And Morata, more shots than anyone else on the pitch, which is not overly surprising, but he's a very consistent start to his Chelsea career.
It was a real number 9's performance. You want to play the ball up into into him and hope it sticks, and then other players can play off him. The amount of times that he made that ball, it stuck, and he brought other players into play was fantastic. Then you can move your team up the pitch and really condense play, and he done that perfectly today. A great all-round performance.
Some good strikes in the English game at the moment.
There are. We're
League.
Fortunate. We've got a lot. Morata was class tonight, and as you say, you look at Lukaku, Harry Kane. You can go on. Goal scorers that went to Aguero, of course. And those
Who'd you take now? You've got Aguero, Lukaku, Kane. Who do you take?
I think Kane is the #1 striker for me at the moment. Yeah, I have to say it.
Anyway, a couple of golden boots and stuff. Time for a break now. Well, we thoroughly enjoyed tonight's game, and we thoroughly enjoyed the performance of one Eden Hazard. We've got a few highlights of his evening, Rio, to enjoy.
I mean, this will be a great show, Rio. I think we asked the question before the game, can he produce on this level? And tonight he gave us an answer in a 90-minute or in a just under 90-minute cameo. I thought he was fantastic in everything he'd done. He was a threat, especially through the middle areas. But this guy gives you hope. He's a player that, in top teams, normally get one player you're allowed to cheat. He's that guy that you'd give that licence to because of what he can do. If you give him as much energy as possible in the attacking third, restrict the amount of time he has to defend.
When you say cheat, you mean don't chase back too much?
Yeah.
I always think that's a little, a bit anti-strikerish.
Yeah, but we've done that with Ronaldo in our team because of what he could produce at the other end. He's going to get you.
Well, why would you want to tire him out?
Yeah, exactly. You want him to be at his best and his most efficient. And that means if you can save him energy from running back and other people put in a bit of an extra shift for him.
That's a phrase I only hear actually about British football. You never hear that abroad on the continent. It doesn't even come into the equation, the fact that a fella doesn't chase back and trap back and tackle is cheating.
He's all over
look at the look of these three.
I mean, he's all over the place on the map, but he is a player you can give that freedom to, no doubt. I loved his body language today. He had that kind of persona on him that he's a top player. He'd come in that position, he'd lay it off, then he'd move again, and then he'd decide to take someone on. He had that kind of thing about him today, that I'm a top player who's going to run this game.
You need that to be a top player, don't you? That belief, Stevie.
Yeah, you need to have that confidence and that aura about you. I think when he's in that form, he's the best in the Premier League for me. And I think it's performances like that, Gary, in this competition, if you keep producing them on a regular basis. I mean, Frank won't thank me for this, or the Chelsea fans, but the likes of your Real Madrids and the Barcelonas come knocking, Liverpool have got a similar problem with Coutinho, and it's performances like that when the real big hitters come.
Okay. It's been great for him to actually be starting games on a regular basis, Frank, because he's been, it's been many years where he's kind of been a bit part player to superstars, but, coming on from the bench.
But that creates a question mark, I suppose, against you, no matter what you do, but to be the #1 at a club like Chelsea, you have to have a personality to deal with it, and I think his performance tonight was so good. Technically, everything he did, he was class, but one bit I loved in the second half as well was when his strength, and he pushed the defender on the floor. He showed I've got the other side, and I think he's big in his build. This was early in the game here, and he's closing down straight away, so you can see that he's on his game. And we talk about what Costa did for Chelsea. He won't do the same as Costa, but when you see him working hard, and then moments of quality, movement in the box, I mean, the confidence of him here again. He was so on his game today. He was so on his game, and him and Hazard were actually lethal together. Their link-up play was brilliant.
And it's vital for Chelsea as well, isn't it, to replace Diego Costa in a positive manner with a player of equal or better stature.
That comes with its own pressure. I mean, Costa had that problem replacing Drogba, and now he had the same problem replacing Costa. But what impressed me the most about him, obviously an excellent finish there, but he secured everything that came into him today. And when you're a midfielder playing with that type of player, or even as a team player, if your number 9 holds the ball up every time, it's so helpful.
I've not seen Godin get bullied and manhandled and dragged about like he did today. Godin has been one of the best defenders in the Champions League for the last 3 or 4 years, and today he looked like he'd aged a few years playing against Morata, and that's how good he was today. So, testament to his performance.
It certainly was. I suppose when it was 1-1, Chelsea, do you think they got away with one in terms of penalty decision? Bakayoko a little bit clumsy inside the box?
I think anywhere else on the pitch, maybe a free kick would have been given, but it would have been so harsh on Chelsea. I think, if they'd have lost that game on that decision, it'd have been so cruel, because they were dominant throughout, and they were miles the better team tonight.
Well, let's have a look. So what do you think, Rio?
Yeah, I thought it was a penalty straight away. I think I shouted here in the studio.
Clumsy, wasn't it?
He's just clumsy. He's not thinking. And then when you're on the pitch, sometimes you see incidents like that. You just immediately think that you go over to him and say, "What are you thinking? What are you doing?"
It's a foul, isn't it?
It's a foul.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
a foul without a doubt. As Stephen said, Chelsea did deserve it, but it doesn't take away the fact that it is a foul in the box.
If he had given that one, it would have been 2 really silly kind of mistakes that would have given 2 penalties away.
Yeah. And it's the top level, so that can change the game. A great performance could have been a loss.
Okay.